Good evening, gorgeous people. I'm Aaron Ryan, and welcome to the Big Brother After Show Eviction interview. Tonight, it was the end of the road for Aleisha. We say Big Brother is about gameplay, strategy, challenges, and relationships, but sometimes it is just pure bad luck where the cards fall. In Aleisha's case, literally the only scenario in which he had a high chance of being evicted is if Taras won both challenges and picked Aleisha and Johnson for nominations. And that's exactly what happened. Aleisha, thank you for joining me tonight.
How are you?
Yeah, really good. Look, you worked so hard in this game, formed a close bond with Johnson and JC, had a great strategy. You would have been fine if yourself, Johnson, or Brenton won either one or both challenges. Even Reggie might have put up Brenton and Taras instead of you. If Taras won just the first challenge, it would have been maybe just Johnson. So how unlucky were you on where the cards fell?
Extremely unlucky. I mean, I guess I should have picked that Taras was a challenge beast by this point, and I think nobody thought that he could win both of the challenges. But to our surprise, he did, and that was to my demise, I guess.
Well, in hindsight, you had every scenario in your game worked out except for Taras. When he started
Yeah.
knocking out huge plays and like winning 10 challenges, 5 in a row, do you think you should have cultivated a better relationship with him?
You know what? Something that you probably didn't see was Trust and I did have a really good relationship. He said that I was his number one girl in the house, and I know that Taras is known for being a bit of a liar, but I truly believe that I was his number one, and I think he had to put me in the chair next to Johnson because he knew that if it was any other scenario, I wouldn't vote Johnson out. Like, he was my number one, and Taras wanted Johnson out, so that I became his number one, and that's exactly what would have happened if I stayed. Taras would have gone to my number one position.
Well, Taras was one, but the other huge underestimator was Brenton. Look at him go
Mm,
now in the top four. A lot of talk about Tim's game, Drew, Estelle, Johnson, and even yourself as the powerhouse of the
yeah.
newbies. But good old Brenton just keeps bubbling along. What do you think of
Yes.
what do you think of his gameplay?
Oh, he's a smart man, Brenton. I think he tries to come across not very smart on purpose, but I think he's very, very intelligent because the gameplay that he played was to, you know, act dumb, play smart. And he filled that role quite well, literally, like making the top four. Like, good on him. Like, he has really got a shot at taking it out, I think.
Well, this is a audio chat, but I just wanted to say because I can see Aleisha on video, she has the cutest dog ever. It just came in, it just came into shot a few seconds
I
ago.
know. She is a cutie. She's a little cavoodle. Where is she?
And what's
Wanna
her
say hi?
name?
Her name's Lilo.
Hello. It is the
Lilo, you see.
cutest dog ever.
I know, she's cute. She's being very good today. She's a good girl.
Look, you had a bit of a romance in the house with Joel, because he got evicted so early in the season. At the time I did the podcast with him, I didn't ask him if you guys were still together because it might ruin potential spoilers moving forward,
Yeah.
and finding out that so early. But we are at the end of the show now, so can I ask, did anything eventuate between yourself and Joel on the outside?
No, so by the time I got out of the house, Joel already had a new partner. So I think Joel got out day 17 and I got out day 61, I think. I can't remember what day, like it must have been day 61. So that was a long time, it was 5 weeks, and he had obviously moved on, got a partner, and look, I'm happy for him. I don't think they're together now, but and I actually have a boyfriend myself now, but yeah, like Joel will always be a good friend, but I think in the house that relationship was heightened because of the circumstances.
Well, I don't want to really push on that, but I guess the only question to ask then, just based on what you said, was that a bit weird? Because you sort of got to the end of Big Brother and got out and thought, obviously I'll at least call this guy because of everything that happened.
Yeah.
And then he goes, well, no, I've got a girlfriend.
Yeah. It was a bit weird, but it was also like understandable. Like when you get out, like it's a weird experience. Like you come out into the real world again with real food and the time, and you can do whatever you want. You're not under Big Brother's control. And I guess like, you have to move on with your life. And he did, and he found someone. So, I was happy for him, to be honest with you. And I think I needed to be on my own for a bit, because being in there for 2 months in the house, it just really like plays with your mindset and emotions when you step out into the real world, for sure.
Mm. All right, well, back to the house. Estelle and Reggie both being evicted definitely improved your chances of top three and potentially winning, as you would have been the only, Supergirl in the finale.
Yeah.
Let's just say you looked pissed and annoyed when Estelle and Reggie were not fully gone and were potentially
Yes.
both coming back. And of course, Reggie did come back. Was
Yes.
that really annoying for you?
It was annoying because I was just like, oh, if they both come back in, that's 2 targets on my back. I know that Tim's going to use that to his advantage and say, yep, let's get out, Aleisha and Johnson, they voted you out, like blah, blah, blah. So for me, I was just scared, I guess, for my position in the game. And I think as well, like, I just wanted them gone so bad, because it was like 2 OGs in, one hit. I was like, perfect. Like, this is great. The newbies have really, got a good chance now at being an all 3 newbie finale.
Mm. Well, what did you think about this idea about OGs versus newbies for a Big Brother theme? Because being
Yeah.
honest, I thought you newbies had zero chance when you
So did
came
I.
when you came into the house. Because I mean, they're Australian favourites, so they're Trev, Farmer Dave, Tim,
Yep.
Drew, Reggie.
Yep.
And as you know, that's no disrespect to you or the
Yeah.
newbies. It's just we have our favourites, but look what happened. Top five, one OG, three newbies, and one intruder are in the
Yep.
in the top five. What do you think about the concept now?
I look, I think when I was in the house, I was starstruck, obviously, for the first few days they were in there. And I was really, like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be able to get the courage to vote out? As we just said, those big players. But as the time went on, they obviously weren't these like celebrities to us anymore. They were like our family and our friends. And
Mm,
I was closer with some of them than I am with people on the outside now, because you have that experience together.
mm,
Um, but also, like, it was such a cool experience to be able to have their knowledge on Big Brother and their Big Brother experience and all their little tips and tricks, what they've learned. So I think that the newbies played an amazing game for already coming in on the back foot. As you said, like
mm,
you just said it. You said it's, nothing against newbies, but we are favorites. And that's exactly how we've always been throughout the experience. I think on TV, everyone's from the start of the first episode have been like, I don't even care about the newbies. I just want to watch the OGs. And I feel like at the end of the day, the OGs were newbies once as well. And that's why you guys fell in love with them. And I feel
mm,
like that maybe we needed to have, from an editing point of view, personally, I think maybe a few more character development scenes of the newbies, so that you guys could feel those moments. Because you watch Reggie for 100 days in her previous season. We've watched Trevor all the way to the end, the same thing, without being nominated. For newbies, we didn't get that same cut of this is Aleisha and Johnson being idiots in the backyard. It was just very
mm.
gameplay for the newbies, which I think was, yeah, to our downfall.
Well, the newbies, for the most part, stayed strong. There was this core big group of newbies that always stuck to the
Yeah.
alliance. But with the OGs, there was definite cracks and some fights and some issues and some blindsides. Was that their undoing?
Yeah, I think it was. I think you've got people in the OGs, like, so the newbies knew we were coming into play. Well, don't get me wrong, we all had hearts and there was definitely heart moves, but we were coming in to play. So with our heads. In the OG side, you had Tim, who was a massive head player, and Estelle, who was a massive heart player. So already there's a crack in that alliance, because they're in the same alliance, but they don't have the same values
Yeah,
about how
yeah.
they want to play the game. So that would have been the crack. And Farmer Dave as well. We saw him. He would vote. He's like, Reggie and that were like, let's vote this way. And Dave was like, nah, sorry, I'm going this way. Like, he was using his heart in a different way again. So I think the newbies were just on the same page with, let's get to the end, let's play the game. This is so fun. But the OGs were like, whoa, 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 we don't want to play cohesively.
Hmm. I get the idea of being close to someone or people in their house. It what helps you get along with along in the show. But when you get to the final five and your best mate is Johnson and neither of
Yeah.
you are winning challenges, a strong pact is not necessarily the best thing. But I guess that's the risk you take.
Yeah, and look, it went like below surface level for Johnson and I. Like he was my best friend. Like whether it was I was really homesick one day, or he same thing was missing his nieces and nephews, or I'd wake up in the middle of the night and just be a bit anxious, or he was my boy. Like he so for me, yes, we made this pact to have each other's back and we would never vote each other out, but it was, more than just the game at that point for us. So I think that yeah, we weren't winning challenges, but it was respect to him that we've made it this far together. There's not a chance that I could ever vote him out.
Well, you did play a brilliant game. I can't think of any regrets, I guess, that for you. But in hindsight, do you think you would have done anything differently if you had a do-over?
I don't, and I do. You do go insane if you keep thinking about what would I do? Would I do this? Would I do that? But it's all sliding doors. Like if I had, for example, kept Drew over Taras, it's like, well, then would Drew have maybe teamed up with Tim and wanted to get me out in the next episode? Or it's like I got to top 5 because of everything that happened the way that it did.
Mm,
And I'm so happy with top 5. Like I'm so proud of myself, and I wouldn't want it to go any other way.
yeah, and of course a little bit unlucky there at the end as well. Um,
Yeah.
Essentially, Big Brother is a game. You enter a house, yes, you form bonds, and then there's a prize at the end. But why does this show, and particularly this particular series, get so emotional? There's lots of stuff going around on social media. I think none of it involves you, you lucky girl. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but but, but what is it about Big Brother that brings so much strong emotions? That it's spilled out to outside of the house.
I think, and I've been thinking about this, I think that there's some people who, like myself, Tim and Johnson, you go into the game and you know it's a game. And I'm a very different person to on the outside to how I treat people inside the house. Like I would never say I've got your back and then go and stab, your back behind like closed doors. Like for example, I did with Drew when I said I had his back and then I didn't. That's not how I live my life in the real world. But it's
Mm.
a game, and to win, that's what you have to do. Now, there's some people who play the game exactly how they are on the outside world. So that's like your heart players, like, your Estelle, your Reggie, your Tullys. And that's why it's so hard for them to see these moves that we make and go, how could you do that? It's because they're playing the game the same way they play the real world. So they would never lie. They would never go behind your back. They would never do this. They would never do that, which is amazing. And there's no wrong way to play Big Brother's game. That's why we're all put in there, because it's meant to be a experience where there's all different people from walks of life, all different, jobs, ages, everything put into a house to see who can win. So I think personally, the reason why there's drama on the outside is because people think that people are playing the game the same way they are on the outside, but they're not.
Mm.
And vice versa, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Well, I've done this with all the other housemates, so you're included. A quick game of
Yep.
choose a housemate, Aleisha. Who's the most
Okay.
genuine?
Johnson.
What about most non-genuine, like appearing nice, but they could be lying to your face?
Estelle.
All right. And most you would like to connect with on the outside, like who did you form any bonds with that you'd like to have over, or you might have already had over?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's 3 of them who I'm super close with: Tim, Johnson, and Taras. But yeah, probably Tim. I'm really close with Tim.
So, out of the newbies that are left in the series, who do you think
Yeah.
who can go the furthest?
I think Johnson can, because he's very smart, but I think Taras can just have a clear shot essentially if he just keeps winning challenges.
And this might be the same answer, but different. Who would you like to see win Big Brother?
Somebody who's played the game hard, and somebody who is a strong competitive person, and so that's going to be either Johnson, Taras, or Brenton for me. Nothing against Reg, love her so much, but for me, I want a game player to win the game of Big Brother.
Fair enough. All right, in your profile, it says that you have 2 successful businesses. Can you tell me more about them and kind of like what you do outside of Big Brother?
Yep. So I had two businesses. One was bleach-proof clothing for hairdressers and cleaners. And we came out with a pattern of clothing that was resistant to bleach and sold it to cleaning companies as well as hairdressers for uniforms. So we did a lot of work with that in lockdown about 2 years ago. And then the other business was online clothing, baby homewares boutique. That took off in COVID because we had all Australian brands. That's the only labels that we stocked were Australian brands. People couldn't go to the shops, obviously. We had things like puzzles and baby clothes and lots of like gift ideas. And I sold it to a lovely lady in just after lockdown actually finished. So yeah.
And so what are you doing now?
I'm currently not working. I just am really taking in the Big Brother experience. It was, like I said, when I came out of the house, it was a big, it was hard. It was hard to come back to reality, I think. And like, I struggled a bit. But I am now just focusing on, I've actually just been traveling in the States. I got home recently and I'm just enjoying this time that Big Brother's on. And then when it finishes, going to knuckle down and probably do another business or work on my personal brand.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're in New South Wales, but you're a mad Fremantle Dockers supporter.
I am.
That's my hometown of Perth. Why are you a Freo supporter?
I actually grew up in Fremantle. I only moved away from home at 18, went to live in New York. I have been a diehard Freo supporter since, like every single game. I don't, like in America when I was just there, I had it on the screen. I follow along. I love them. I love them.
Yeah, I'm a big Freo supporter as well, but I think for different
Yep.
reasons. I think because you're a Freo girl, and I just love
Yes.
Nat Five. So
Yeah. I love Nat Five as well. I think we've got all the young guns coming up. We've got Brayshaw, we've got Sarong. Like we're killing it at the minute. So I'm super proud. Hopefully we can get there in September.
yeah, for sure. You obviously know who you are as a person. You've been able to watch
Yeah.
all of the Big Brother episodes and see how they were edited. Do you
Yeah.
think what we saw of you was a fair and true reflection of who you are? Or if it wasn't, what did they miss?
I think you saw the passionate, driven, confident Aleisha for sure. That's definitely a massive part of me. But I think we missed out on the playful, the laughing, the jokes, and the friend. Because I feel like you saw David and Reg's relationship, but Johnson and I had such an amazing relationship on par that I don't think got put in the spotlight as much. And I don't know if that's just because we're newbies, or I don't know if there was a narrative that was trying to be shown about Johnson and I's gameplay, but I think you saw the gameplay and the strategy side, which I love that because I want to be a strong woman and I want people to see that, yeah, a girl can be in charge of all these boys and, run the show. But I also wish that you saw the playful side of me more, that when we were laughing and having fun.
Mm. So when you look back at this experience later, the whole Big Brother experience, is there anything that stood out for you for Big Brother where you're just going to go, I'm just going to remember that forever? Or is it just the whole experience?
Oh my God. Honestly, I cannot talk more highly of my experience. Like it makes me like I cried for 2 weeks when the show ended, like when we got out, because I just wanted to be back there. I couldn't,
Oh,
I was devastated. But for me, I think winning a challenge and hearing Big Brother like go 3, 2, 1, Taras and Aleisha, you have won the challenge. Like to be safe and to know that, like, yeah, it was a hard challenge as well. Like it wasn't like an easy, not that any of them were easy, but like it was so hard. So I was just proud of myself for that and proud of like getting the head of house votes, being the first head of house chosen by the people. I was the first person put up for eviction. Like I was literally the first put up for eviction and I made it to the top 5. Like I was proud of that as well. So
yeah.
yeah, there was a lot. Lilo. Sorry.
It's a gorgeous dog. So would you like to do more in the arts space, like television and stuff? You seem to got a
Yeah.
little bit of a pinch for that.
Yeah, I love the creative space. Like I really do. My favorite part about when I had my businesses was, website development and, creating designs and sending them off to get manufactured. Like I love that space. So I would love to do something in the creative space again, whether it is a clothing brand or like, I don't know, I do love podcasting as well. Like I'm a massive fan of podcasts. So I think something in that space as well where, you have a voice and you can really kind of make a difference and brighten someone's day for, 40 minutes would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be great. And yeah, would love to see your plans. I'm sure it'll be on
Yeah.
Instagram and people can follow your journey. Well,
Yep.
Alicia, with all the twists and turns that is Big Brother, you were a little bit unlucky at the end.
Yeah.
But you were a tough and strong and social player, and you did super well. So thank you for joining me tonight.
No, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right, that was Aleisha, 17th evicted from Big Brother 2022. So now we have a final four. That's it for tonight. Thank you for listening. I'm Aaron Ryan. I'll be back with the 18th eviction very soon. Good night.